Hello dear students and welcome back. In today's video, we'll learn a little bit more about variables, arithmetic operations, and the print function we have here. So in the previous video, we learned about number, we learned about string, and we learned how to do some basic mathematical operation where we have created a variable and multiplied that variable by a number and added that variable to a number, dividing it and subtracting it. So now let me create another variable called h, and h will be 7. And now I want to create a third variable, and this variable will hold the value of gs, multiply that by h. Alright, so I will delete this, I don't need this here. Now also I don't want the type here, I want to print the value of a. So Control Shift B to run, and we get 35. So what is happening here is first we are assigning the value of 5 to gs, then assign a value of 7 to h. Then we multiply h by gs, and the output of that operation will be assigned to a, and then we are printing a. Now, one thing you notice here very quickly is that when Lua executes the script, it executes this script line by line. So starting from the top to the bottom. All right. So this is something worthy to remember. Now, one thing I want to show you also, how we can divide two numbers and get different output from that division. Let me show you what I mean by that. So assume, for example, h is 15 and gs is 2. All right. And I want to divide h by gs. Very awesome. Now what I can do is run this, Control Shift B, and we get 7.5. Now if I add double slash here and run this again, I get 7. Now, the difference between 7.5 and 7 in programming, we call this a number, any number that have decimal point, like this, we call it float or decimal. And any number that doesn't have any decimal value, we call that integer. So we can differentiate between the two types here. So if we want to divide two numbers and get integer value instead of float value like this one here, what we can do this double division. So this basically tells Lua, just give me the integer part, I don't want the decimal part here. So let's try to print the type of a here. So type and run. Now we get it's a number. Now if we try to get the same type with only one division, Control Shift B, we also get a number. So in Lua, any number is called number, right? This is the data type for it. In other programming languages, you will find it very different. For example, in Python, you will have if the value have a decimal point, it will give you it's a float, and if the value have no decimal point, it will tell you it's an integer. All right, very, very awesome. Something to keep in mind here. All right, guys. Now, also what I want to show you how we can use the same print statement to print multiple value at once, because if you want to print, for example, value of a like this, and then print type A, what we can do, have two print statements, and you will have them one after another. But what if I want them with one print statement? We definitely can do that. So the way to do that, we add a comma, then any value we want, for example, value of A, run this, and we get the output for type A and the value of A. We can also add as many as we want. So we can add h, can add gs, and so on. So if we run this, you see we get these values. Also, there's another way where we can use double periods, so dot dot between each variable here. All right, and in this case everything will be together. Now this will be useful when you have strings. All right, so for example, let me show you quick example here. I want to delete everything from here, and what I want to do, or maybe keep here value of a, that's fine, and down here I will have variable f, and this will be my first name. All right, and variable l will have my last name. Now I want to print them. I think you see where this is going. I want to print them on the same line together. So in this case, what I want to do is print here, print f l. So if I do that, print, I get them together. So what I can do in this case, add a space between them. So now I have them in the correct manner they should be appear in. And if I do this, now you can see they are far apart from each other, which is something we don't want. We want them to be close together, separated only by a space. So this is the most likely scenario. You will be using this double period notation down here. Very good. So as you can see, it's very easy to use variables. Lua is actually a very easy language, so practice this. Practice something like here I will give you a homework. So homework, by the way, this is called a comment, so I think it is a good time to talk about comments. You see these double dashes here, so this one and this one. This tells Lua that this is a comment, and comments do not get executed. Even if you type here print something, it will not be printed, will not be executed. Actually, once this code is sent to Lua, Lua will remove these comments from this file and then pass them to the interpreter to run the code. So you can add as many comments as you want, and comments are awesome in case you want to add some notes to yourself, do some documentation. So comments will help you a lot. You will use them, for example, with functions later on, once we start learning about function, to add a reminder for yourself, maybe, okay, this function supposed to do 1 2 3, or accept the following values, or we expect the following output from this function, and so on. So this homework for you, let me remove this part so it doesn't confuse you. Make a variable for age, and then convert age to number of days. All right, so basically you want a variable to hold the value for age, and then multiply that value by how many days in a year, and then print this output. All right, and the output should be in the following format. So the expected output to be your age is some value, and it equals this amount of days. All right, so this is something to practice with.